Welcome to Green Talk by Green Care Solutions on KCAA NBC Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and YouTube. Today we have our special guest, Len of MJ.com. I'm your host, Be Real. We're here in quarantine, so we're being safe and keeping our distance. I'm video zooming right now. I'm here with my special co-hosts.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Angela Mazzanti. Now, this is a cannabis-friendly and educational program. You must be 21 years of age to listen or watch. And we're not doctors, but Green Care Solutions has doctors for you. And just to let you guys know, NBC Radio is considered essential as long as we follow all of these CDC guidelines.
And that's correct. I have my hand sanitizer, my gloves, and my mask. I do wear this when I'm not on camera and we're not sitting near each other.
Nope, we didn't hug today.
No hugs. So Green Care Solutions is a licensed and credited company. Our website is greencaresolutions.com. Our show's website is greentalknews.com. You can follow their Instagram at greencaresolutions420, keyzonelocksmith.com. They're going to hook you up. Be real if you're ever locked out.
Word up. Let's get into the show. We're here with Len of MJ.com, is a founder of MJ.com and largest shareholder. And, we're glad to have you on the show.
I'm so happy to be here. I mean, it's crazy times right now, but we make do, right? We just keep pushing forward, and here we are. So I'm happy to be here.
Tell us a little bit about MJ.com.
Sure. So MJ.com, obviously two-letter domain, the only two-letter domain in the cannabis industry. Super excited about it. And it's really mostly about the medical and professional side. So within the next month, we're rolling out the largest network in the country for doctors, dispensaries, and delivery companies. So think about it. If you're in one of the medical states and you want to get your medical card, you'll be able to come to MJ.com and almost have one-stop shopping. You'll get a discount prescription card. You'll get matched up, geolocated with the doctor in your area. And then you can either do a FaceTime consultation now, which is probably pretty apropos right now, or you can go visit them, get your medical marijuana card, and then get matched up with a dispensary in our network, which you get a discount on by having that discount prescription card. And if you don't want to leave the house, you don't want to go to a dispensary, our delivery company will deliver it right to your front door. So we're pretty excited about that.
I think that's going to really be huge in the cannabis industry now with everything that's kind of happening, especially like with being a one-stop shop for a lot of people now that nobody can really go out of the house unless it's like deemed essential. Having something like that easy is really going to set the game.
Mm-hmm. How's Dr. Greenthumb dispensary doing? I know you just opened up a few locations, B.
We're doing
busy, I'm sure. Right. California.
We're doing all right. I think because, dispensaries have been labeled, or cannabis has been labeled an essential business. People have not stopped coming. I mean, there was an influx of sales in that first week of all this, because I think people, panic shopped in the dispensaries like they did in the supermarkets. They bought as much as they could because they didn't know how long they were going to have to be inside. So, but when you look in terms of outside of the people who use recreationally, there's the people that use for medicinal purposes who don't, take over-the-counter prescriptions of any sort. They use cannabis or cannabis derivatives to deal with their ailments and stuff like that. So, I thought it was a great decision for them to keep the stores open for those folks. I mean, obviously the recreational user gets the benefit from that, but I think it's great that they kept us open as long as we keep practicing all the safety suggestions with the mask, the gloves, the sanitizing every 30 minutes. I think we're going to be all right. Mm-hmm. But we're opening another location up in Cathedral City on April 11th. So we have delivery services for all the locations as well. So if you don't need to come, you can get delivery and it'll be fine.
And for MJ.com, I saw on your website too that you also work with other companies in the sense, there's other companies that are under MJ.com that you guys help to promote and educate people on cannabis and their options when it comes to medicinal use.
Yes, so we have an exclusive partnership with the American Society of Cannabis Medicine and Cannalinks and CannaScripts. Those are three entities that are kind of interwoven, and they educate doctors and patients about the medicinal use of the plant in all different facets. We're working with different government agencies as well. So we really want to be the trusted authority within the medical community. And B, we'd love to include your dispensaries in our network as we're rolling everything out in California as well. We'd love to have you on board.
That'd be great. Yeah. Do you feel like, outside of the doctors that are linked to the cannabis industry, the ones who give out, the medical recommendations and whatnot, the doctors who have not done any of that, do you think that there's a lack of education in that aspect of the medicinal?
Yes, I think that's actually a big concern, and that's what we're helping to educate the doctors as well, like I said earlier. So think about it. We're going to have electronic medical records stored in a blockchain. So let's pretend that you had some back surgery, right? And you have certain ailments that you need the cannabis medicine for to relieve pain, relieve anxiety, help you sleep, whatever it may be. We store that in an electronic medical record that the doctors across the nation can see. They don't have to see your name or your personal info, but they know you had back surgery. And this strain that they prescribed for you happened to work, and this other one didn't. And now that's stored in the records so doctors across the country can see and have a precedent of what worked and what didn't work to prescribe to their new patients going forward. So we're really trying to enhance that process and make it more efficient for all of the doctors that are new to this.
Do you feel like some doctors will turn a blind eye to it because they're in the pocket of pharmaceutical companies?
I think that will happen in hospitals. So last year, unfortunately, my father was in the hospital, and I interviewed a lot of the doctors in the hospital, and they all wanted to prescribe cannabis, and they were not allowed to because they have contracts with certain big pharma companies. And that was so difficult for me to hear because I know it could have helped relieve some of my father's pain or other patients' pain, and they just cannot give it out. They have to give out the drugs first. But I think we're starting to see a little momentum to switch that. And I'm hoping this upcoming election, I hope that marijuana is a hot button topic for whoever you're rooting for, whatever party you're siding with, doesn't really matter. I want them to at least discuss it so they can, the benefits of legalization, especially medical first. I think recreational will probably come later. I think that should be a hot button topic this year. I hope it will be. The president has left this up to the states in the last few years, right? Yeah. So every state has different rules. Every county has different rules. Some counties you can deliver, some you can't, right? Some have vertical licenses, some have different facets of a licensing process that you can get. So there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's the Wild West. That's why the black market is still so strong. There needs to be some regulations where the pricing is not too high. There's not price gouging with taxes, where people do want to trust those licensed dispensaries and operations and get their product from them, and it's not cost prohibitive.
That's right. Yeah. So it is kind of what I thought. What is your opinion on the study of cannabis and COVID-19? They're trying to get funding for it. I doubt they'll get funding this year. It'll probably happen in 21 or 22. But what is your opinion on that? There's a few articles there's a lot of articles on the internet.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of articles that weren't very accurate saying that cannabis can cure coronavirus or something like that. We did an article on it on MJ.com. You can find it in our blog. It's one of the featured articles. But the plant can alleviate certain flu symptoms, right? But it's not going to cure a virus. It's just not going to happen right now, or at least the way that the research is too little to know what it's really doing. But it can help some of those flu-like symptoms. And we have a whole article on MJ.com to check it out with the facts instead of all the BS that was kind of going around the internet when it first came out.
Yeah, I mean, that's running rampant these days on the internet is misinformation.
Well, I saw somebody posted the other day, and it was like a decent size influencer posting like, oh, LA Animal County shelters are euthanizing all the dogs that are in there because they're not going to have anybody taking care of them, so they're just going to kill them off. And I was like, wait, that sounds crazy. So I went and looked into it more, and it was like, no, they're still letting people in to take care of the animals. But then you see different influencers posting different things, and it starts to scare other people. Or I saw a lot going about it was a book basically saying in 2020 this pneumonia outbreak is going to happen, blah blah blah. And then you start seeing everybody oh, well, it's a conspiracy theory. And
there's a lot of conspiracies.
There's just so many things out there. And I think part of the reason it's kind of
the 5G conspiracy.
The 5G conspiracy, which don't get me started on that. But I think that's the reason, too, why there's so much mass hysteria and why we saw so much mass hysteria with everybody going and clearing out the grocery stores is because now that we have social media, everyone's going a little crazy with this. And it's definitely not to be taken lightly at any cost. But the amount of misinformation and the amount of like different wrong articles going out and just not educated people spouting like things that shouldn't be out there.
And the crazy part is that people are, susceptible to believe that, like, before they
it's like you see it like,
anything.
oh, it's on somebody's story, it must be true.
Yeah, they don't do the diligence themselves. They're more open to believe, the BS coming from someone who maybe isn't really educated on the subject or any of the information going out. So, I think it's important that everybody do their own diligence as well.
Yeah.
Whatever information you get, do the diligence on it yourself.
Everybody in the social media world, everybody fancies themselves an expert on everything because they want to be right. They want to say I was right? So they throw a whole bunch of different theories out there, and then some of them go viral. People share them, and it's misinformation, like you said earlier. But people just really want to just spout off about anything, because if they spout off about 100 things, they might be right about one. Then they can chirp about it again later and say, look, I was right there. Now believe me the next time. Not always right.
Yeah, that's a good point. And also with MJ.com, what advice do you give people who go on to MJ.com? Because I know when I go on MJ.com, I saw that you have like different portals to go on different websites. Like somebody that's new to cannabis, what do you recommend for them to click on? Because you have different avenues of education on there. You even have a podcast as well.
Sure. So we have a couple of different things, like you said. Thanks for bringing that up. Basically, our blog has all original content. So we have a content team that is writing or interviewing CEOs about the latest topics. And we like our CEO series because it's people in the industry that have gone up and down on the roller coaster, and we try to feel, their failures, their successes, what made them get to the point they're at, to hopefully help some small business owners that are reading MJ.com right now, or people that aspire to be in the industry. This is going to be the biggest job growth boom industry in the nation over the next several years. So we want to educate the consumer. We want to educate the business owner. We want to educate people that are just completely new to the industry. So you can go there, read the blog. It's all original content. You can go listen to our podcast, which is called the Pot.live podcast. And then we also have a recreational, thepot.com, THEPOT.com. That's all recreational stoner fun. So if that's your niche that you like, go have a good time. Jokes, memes, babes, you got podcasts on there, you got a whole bunch of fun stuff on there. But if you want the medical and professional educational aspect, that's MJ.com.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Len, for coming on our show. And before we end the show, can you give us a little bit of more things that you would like people to know about MJ.com and how they can reach out to you maybe to start their own cannabis business?
Absolutely. You can reach our team at info@mj.com. Just shoot an email. We always get back to everyone. You can even register for our newsletter on the site. We have new features being rolled out month after month. So within the next month, in the spring of 2020, we are rolling out that whole medical network that I just described earlier. And we'd love to have everybody on board, whether you're a business owner, dispensary owner like Mr. B right there. We'd love to have you on board. Delivery companies, medical patients looking for a doctor, doctors themselves. We're going to have the largest network in the country. We're super excited about it.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, you have been in a lot of podcasts too. I mean, you've been on a podcast with Robert Kawasaki from Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is pretty cool too. So, I mean, you definitely know what you're doing, I suppose, You're hanging out with the right people too.
I like to think so. I hope so.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for your time. Everyone, thank you for tuning in to Green Talk by Green Care Solutions. I'm Yunitsu Munoz, and I'm here with...
And it's your girl, Angela Mazzanti. And of course, we have the one and only...
We have Be Real. Woo! Yes, and thank you so much, Len. Everyone, go to their website here at the bottom of the screen. Check them out. And thank you again, and be safe out there during the quarantine.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.